All righty. I think we're good to go. So, for those who might have joined late and not got an introduction, we are joined today with Elizabeth Whitaker from Freedom Scientific. And Elizabeth is going to tell us all about the new and exciting stuff from the 2026 versions of JAWS Fusion and Zoomtext. So, over to you, Elizabeth.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me here. And it is great to be back and have this opportunity to share with you all some of our new features. And I know that there are a lot of questions that you may have surrounding our licensing and also surrounding our this new account that you might have heard of, the Sparrow accounts, which hasn't actually come to you guys yet, but it will be. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about, for those of you who use Fusion, or maybe you know someone who uses Fusion, we have completely redesigned the Fusion toolbar to make it more intuitive. So I'm going to talk you through that as well. And we actually have a demo of that coming very soon to our training page. So I can give you some resources if you would like to see that in action. And then we have a couple of features that I want to show. One is actually a feature that we introduced in 2025 called AI Labeler. Now, we have continued to make updates to this feature, and so we wanted to talk about it here once again. And then finally, a brand new feature called Page Explorer, and this is going to change how you use the internet. It's going to summarize web page content for you and allow you to do some really neat things when it comes to uh, large web pages and wanting to know what type of content you have and wanting to know how to navigate. So I'm going to demo that as well, and I'll also show you where to go to download your new software if you haven't done that already. And then also we're going to talk about the Insert J Club because for those of you who might not know, this year JAWS for Windows turns 30. So we wanted to create a club that would bring all of us together. You, all of you, the users, all of us, we're all in this together as it is, and we need to come together, share stories, and learn from one another. So it's a great opportunity. So I'm going to tell you more about that and show you where to go to sign up. So let's just dive right in. So I wanted to start out by talking a little bit about how we have rolled out the updates for JAWS Zoomtext and Fusion 2026. So for those of you who are accustomed to getting your notification and then downloading your software, we are doing what is called a soft rollout. Now, this is similar to what you have, for example, on your iPhone or your iPad, where Apple says, "Oh, your iPhone update is ready. The iOS, whichever update it is ready and will install tonight." Something like that. It notifies you, and that's done on an incremental basis, meaning not everybody gets the notification at the same time. This is randomly generated, so we're not targeting anybody specific when we send out these notifications. They're randomly generated. And the reason we do this is so that as you download the software, as more of you get the notifications and you have some feedback, we can take that feedback and we can optimize that. So we can integrate that into our software and we can fix any things, any bugs that need to be fixed, and make that download and installation process a lot smoother. So if you have not gotten your notification to upgrade to 2026 yet, you will be getting that within the next few weeks. But you can go ahead and download it if you wish. So if you have a current license and you have 2025 and you have um, the license for, if you're authorized for 2026, you will be able to download and install JAWS Zoomtext or Fusion from our freedomscientific.com website. So I'm going to show you where to go to do that here in just a minute. I just kind of want to show you that page and where to go to find out what's new and how to download that software. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, and we're going to share that with you. So let's share my screen. I'm going to share the sound, of course, here.
Sharing meeting controls. Meeting status unavailable.
Oh, it told me that. Okay.
Verizon
So can
wireless
you guys hear JAWS?
Yes.
Create segments.
You can. Okay.
Yeah.
How's the
Freedom
volume
Scientific.
and how's the volume and the speed? Are we good here? Let's see. I'm trying to get it to talk here.
Freedom Scientific. Banner. Same page link. Skip the content.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Is that good? Okay. So I'm here on the Freedom Scientific website, freedomscientific.com. And if I navigate over here to the heading for software releases, I'm just going to press the letter H.
Software solutions. Low vision solutions. Blindness solutions. Upcoming events. At software releases. Heading level 3.
So here we have a heading for software releases. And if I down arrow here,
List of 5 items. Visited link JAWS 2026 release 10/29/25.
so that tells us that that's the JAWS 2026 link. That'll actually take us off to the What's New page, which we'll go to here in a minute, and I'll show you where you can download the software. It also tells you the date that it was released. And the reason we do that is because, for example, we'll come out with another update in December. So if you're looking for something, you need to make sure that you're downloading the correct update. So that's why we put the date there.
Visited link Fusion 2026 release 10/29/25.
So there's the link for Fusion.
Visited link Zoomtext 2026 release 10/29/25.
And there's the link for Zoomtext. So I'll go back up to JAWS. Now this is the same with all three of these. If you go to any of these links, it's going to take you to the What's New page
Visited link JAWS 20.
for that product. So I'm going to enter here on the JAWS link.
Enter Freedom Scientific and high quality video magnifiers. Braille display. What's new in JAWS 2026?
All right, took a minute for that to grab focus. So what's new in 2026? And so here we have headings on this page, and we can navigate through those and hear about the new features.
What's new in JAWS 2026? JAWS 2026 features heading level 2. Vispero accounts. A new way to connect your products. Heading level 3.
We're going to talk about that here in just a minute.
Getting started. Heading level 4. Page Explorer for quickly summarizing web pages using AI. Heading level 3.
So you can just press H to navigate to these different headings and read about the new features. And then on this page, I'm going to bring up a list of links with insert or caps lock F7.
Links list view port. Downloads. Download JAWS.
And if I press D a couple of times, it says download JAWS. So that's where you would go. I'm going to press escape to
Escape.
get out of that links list. That's where you would go to download the latest version of JAWS, and you would do the same for Zoomtext or Fusion. So you have a choice. You can either wait for that notification within JAWS, or you can go ahead and come to freedomscientific.com, navigate to the heading for software releases, and go to your product, the link for your product, and then download that product. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, we're not going to go too in depth about this just yet, but you may have heard about this, and it's rolling out in the US first. All other countries will follow, but right now it's just for US customers. And it's called the Vispero accounts. So what we're doing is very similar to what other companies do. For example, Microsoft, if you subscribe to Microsoft 365, you sign in, and then you're able to download your software and use it, your Office software. Same thing with Google. If you sign into your Gmail account, for example, you have access to your Gmail, you have access to your Google Workspace apps, you have access to everything that's connected to that Google account. So with the new Vispero account, it will connect you across all devices. So what this means is you will set up an account with an email address and password, and it will ask you for a few other pieces of information. And then you'll just sign in. And so the way it works, the way it's working right now is when this is available in Canada, for example, you'll install you'll run your software, it'll prompt you to sign in or create an account. And so you can create a brand new account using an email address and a password that you choose, or you can choose to sign in using a Google account. And then you're signed in. You don't ever have to worry about it. But this is an account that is specific to the user, not the license. So let's say that you use JAWS at home and then use JAWS at work. Well, you can sign in to both using the same account, and you'll be prompted to sign in. And again, it's just a one-time thing. All right, so why are we doing this, and what will it do for you? Well, having one Vispero account is going to enable you to connect all your products across devices. And so one of the things that we are getting ready to roll out in 2026 with the account process is the ability to sync settings across different devices. So let's say that you have JAWS or Zoomtext or Fusion at home. You've set your preferences, you have everything customized the way you want it, and then you get that product for work and you think, well, I want this to operate the same way it does at home. And, you know, I don't want to have to go through all the trouble of setting it up again, or I don't want to have to write down all these settings or transfer any files. You're not going to have to do any of that. It's just going to sync across all your devices because you're signed into the same account. So, and we're going to offer some other perks. So another thing that we'll be able to do if you choose this is send you updates on new features, send you information about what's coming before it happens, and just keep you updated and make sure that you always have the most up-to-date features and the most up-to-date information. And so again, I'm not exactly sure when this is coming to Canada, but I know that will be happening sometime fairly soon. So we'll definitely keep you updated about it. We are compiling a list of frequently asked questions so that everyone will be able to go to our website. So we're getting a lot of questions about this. You may have some of these questions as well. And thinking about this as, you know, what about on a public computer, shared computer? Well, on a shared computer, they're going to be signed into an account, so you're not going to have to sign into yours. It's not like a Google or Gmail account where you sign in when you want to use JAWS or something like that. But you know, it's tied to the user, not the license, and so any computer you have with JAWS, Zoomtext, or Fusion would be tied to that same account. Okay, so I just wanted to maybe clear up some of the questions there if you've heard about that, and if you hadn't, just kind of give you a heads up on what's coming. One other question I did want to mention too, one of the questions that we've gotten, and this is a great question, we're not gathering data for any purposes, so we're not using your data for anything other than to send you information should you wish to receive it. And then there is there are two fields that ask for your date of birth. And the reason we ask for this is because since we do integrate AI into our products, we have to adhere to the standards from those AI companies of those services that we use. And so there are some regulations around that regarding age. You know, if you're under 13, you wouldn't use, you know, those products and things like that, or you wouldn't create the account. So anyway, there are just some questions surrounding that, and I just wanted to clear that up because we've gotten a lot of questions from people saying, why are you asking for our date of birth? So that is why. So, okay. So Vispero accounts will be coming soon, and we will make sure that you are up to date on all of that before it happens. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention before I get into the demos here is for Fusion users. So for those of you who may not be aware of what Fusion is, or maybe you've never used it, Fusion is a product that combines JAWS and Zoomtext together. So you can, when you have Fusion, you have three options. You can use JAWS, you can use Zoomtext, you can use them, well, actually we have four options. You can use them together, or you can use the Fusion interface. What we've done, so in the past, the Fusion interface included a lot of options for magnification, and it included some for speech, but the JAWS settings, for example, weren't on that toolbar. You had to go over to another place and access those settings. So what we've done is we've reorganized this toolbar so that you have three main menu options. You have a Fusion menu, which is going to give you some options that are specific to the Fusion interface. You have a Zoomtext settings menu, and you have a JAWS settings menu. So you have all of your magnification, all of your speech together right there. And then there are some tabs that allow you for navigation. You can customize your settings for navigation and even for Braille. So if you have a unique situation where you're using Fusion, or maybe you're transitioning to JAWS from Zoomtext and you're also learning Braille, you'd be able to have all your access to those Braille display settings there as well. All right, so let's talk about what's new in 2026. So we're going to start with this feature that we call the AI labeler. So I think all of us JAWS users have probably experienced this where you're on a web page or you're in an app, maybe a web-based app, and you have some unlabeled buttons or graphics, and you just navigate around, and maybe that button has a label, but it's not all that meaningful. It doesn't really describe what that button is or what it does. Or, as is the case with this website, I'm going to go over here to the Verizon site.
Verizon Wireless Internet.
Okay.
Verizon.
So if I'm navigating here through buttons and I press the letter B,
Shop menu list button collapsed. Blank.
okay, that one's good.
Shop menu list but deals menu list button collapsed. Search Verizon button. Sign and drop down menu button collapsed. Shopping cart menu 0 item Verizon promos details for iPhone next promo mess unlabeled 3 button.
We hit one that just said unlabeled 3 button. So we were doing great until we got to that, but we don't have any idea what this is. But we can use the AI labeler to go ahead and create a label for us. So what it's going to do is it's going to take a screenshot of this button and it's going to provide a label for us based on that screenshot. All you have to do is press Insert or Caps Lock G. So if you're using desktop layout or you have an insert key, you can press Insert G, or if you don't have an insert key, your JAWS key is your Caps Lock key, you can press Caps Lock G. So I'm on this button and I'm just going to press Caps Lock G.
Buy button.
And it's okay, so it just labeled it. It said buy button, B-U-I. All right, so now we have a label for that button. And every time I come to this page and I press the letter B, we're going to hear, for this particular button, we're going to hear the word buy. Now if I press it again, the letter B,
unlabeled 3 button.
We have another one that says unlabeled 3 button. So we could press Insert or Caps Lock G on this one.
iPhone 17, Apple Watch Series 11 and iPad. All on us. No trade and require. Even iPhone 7.
Okay, what I think happened here is focus has moved and we are actually, that's a bug that we are going to fix. But let's press letter B.
More information. Unlabeled 1 button. iPhone 7. Buy button.
Okay, I found my buy button, and if I press B again.
iPhone 17, Apple Watch Series 11 and iPad. All on us. No trade and required. Buy button.
Okay, well, I guess that was. Maybe it didn't switch focus then. That just seemed like an awfully long label. Okay, now, one thing you can do if you think, well, is that really the label, the correct label? Because most of the time it's going to get it right, but there are some times when it won't. You can use this command again. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna press Insert or Caps Lock G, and let's see. We're gonna get a dialog here.
JAWS version 2026.2510.195. JAWS version 2026.2510.195. Yes button. Alt plus Y. Replace label dialog. The current custom label is iPhone 17, Apple Watch Series 11 and iPad. All on us. No trade and required. Buy button. Do you want to replace it with this new label? iPhone 17, Apple Watch Series 11 and iPad. All on us. No trade and required. Buy button. Yeah.
Okay, so what it's saying is, here's your current label. Do you want to replace it with this new one? Well, what it's giving us is not really a new one. It's the same one. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to down arrow.
No button. Alt plus N.
To no.
Enter.
And press enter. But if it was a different label, we could choose that. Now, for the most part, again, it's going to get it right for the most part. But if you do happen to space or enter on a button or a graphic or a link that's not labeled, one of those elements, and you go to a page and you think, well, that label was incorrect, you can come back and you can give it whatever label you want. And I'll show you how to do that.
Even on our low iPhone 17.
So we're here on this button that we have just requested a label for, and you can do this on any of them. I am going to press Insert Control Tab. You can also press Caps Lock Control Tab. And that is going to bring up our prompt creator or labeler here.
Edit label dialog. Label edit. iPhone 17, Apple Watch Series 11 and iPad. All on us. No trade and required. Buy button. Alt plus L.
Okay, so that is an awfully long label. Maybe I just want to edit this to make it something that makes sense to me. So
button.
I can navigate this just like I would. It's an edit field, so just like I would anything else, I can use my control right and control left arrows to navigate by word. And I'm going to do that here.
By no. Us period. On. All. iPad and 11. Series. Watch. App. iPhone. 17, comma. 7.
Okay, so I'm just going to edit this
Comma,
here
space.
to be a little
Com-
less verbose.
Watch. Watch. Series. 11. Space. Apple and iPad period. All. Period blank. On. iPad period. Period blank.
Okay.
iPhone 17, Apple and iPad. All on us. No trade-in required by.
All right, so
On us. No.
I'm just editing out the rest of this.
N.
So now it's going to read like this. I'm going to press up arrow here.
iPhone 17, Apple and iPad. All on us.
There we go. So I could shorten it even more, but if I press enter here, it's going to accept this new label.
Enter. Even on our iPhone 17, Apple and iPad. All on us button.
There you go. So that's how you can relabel something if you want to. You can also, just press insert or caps lock G again if you really think that label is not correct. But if it gives you the same label more than once, it probably is, because what it's doing, it's taking that screenshot and it's using AI to figure out what that label should be. All right, so this will work on web pages. This will also work in web-based applications where you have elements. Well, what we mean when we talk about elements is we're referring to things that you can interact with, buttons, graphics, links, things like that, edit fields, even sometimes tables, but you really wouldn't want to label a table, but those elements that you can navigate to. So if you have an app and you're trying to navigate to something, and let's just say the submit button or search button isn't labeled, let's just say it says button. You could label that search button. So then every time you would navigate to that button in that app, it would speak that label. So that is how we use the new AI labeler. All right. So I'm going to talk now about this new feature called Page Explorer. So I'm going to actually close out this page here.
Open Gemini and Chrome.
Let's see.
Insert J Club and dash. What's new in JAWS 2020? Create segments. Required editable.
Okay.
Ban.
Let me get rid of this
Escape.
banner
Open
here.
live chat AI. Create segment.
Okay. So we're really excited about this feature. And as a JAWS user, I use it all the time because if you navigate to a web page, whether you're navigating there for the first time and you really want to know how the page is laid out, that's one way you can use it. Or you just really want to get some information quickly and you really are either having difficulty finding it on the page or you're just curious about, where is this information? What can I find here? Is what I'm looking for even on this page? So Page Explorer will give you a summary of what's on a page. And it will break it down in several categories. It's going to tell you how the page is laid out. It will tell you what type of content you'll find there. It'll give you some navigation tips. And then there's also a section that lists important links that stand out that may be very useful on that page. So let's talk about some situations where you might want to use this. So I know I just mentioned this one, but if you are visiting a page for the first time and you just want to get an idea of what you have, do I have form fields? Do I have headings? Where is the content? What is here on this page? Page Explorer is going to do that for you. If you have an article, for example, on a page or some information that you want to read and there are ads that you intercept along the way and I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I find it very confusing sometimes. You're trying to read an article and all of a sudden you get this ad for a new medication or something like that, and it has all this, a new product or other things like that, and you have all this information that you're trying to navigate through to get back to the article, and then you find where that next paragraph in the article is, and sometimes I'm thinking, well, okay, what was the last thing I read before I encountered this ad? The other thing that can happen sometimes is a page will refresh. And when that happens, of course, you're reading along and all of a sudden you're taken to the top. And I personally find that extremely frustrating. So, this is good for, you can ask it questions. You can tell it, hey, I want to know, show me the text about this, or show me the article text, or one example I like to give too, and I found this great page with it had all these different events, and they were listed for community events, and they were listed in a table. And I think the table contained about a month's worth of events. Well, I wanted to know which ones occurred on Saturdays. I wanted to just look at those, and it did a great job of pulling that out. It said, show me what event, just the events that occur on a Saturday. And it did. It pulled all those out. And so I was able to just very quickly go through that information without having to go through the entire table. All right, so the page that I'm on right now is an article that is on HubSpot. And if you've never used HubSpot, I'll just tell you what this is. HubSpot is a service that is used for creating things like email lists, customer lists, things like that, relationship management, customer relationship management, things like that. So I wanted to know originally how to create an email list on HubSpot. And the article that it sent me to here tells me how to create segments. Now, I'm not sure what segments are, but I'm sure that it has something to do with an email list here, or in some way is related. Now, I could navigate this page. This page is actually laid out really well.
Create segments.
So here we have at the top, the title says create segments, and I can navigate by heading.
Create segments available with any of the following link subscriptions. Types of segments heading level 2. Active segments heading level 3.
But there's a lot of information here. So what I want to know here is, what is a segment? And how do I create one? That's really the two pieces of information I would like to know. So
Create.
I'm going to press this command. It's Insert Shift E, or caps lock Shift E, echo. And that's going to run Page Explorer. We'll give it a second here. Kind of slow at the moment, but it'll get there eventually.
FS page summary.
Okay.
Type
So
your question here. Edit.
this is actually, Page Explorer is actually a part of FS Companion, which I don't know if you all have used that, but FS Companion is our AI tool that we introduced last year in 2025 for learning JAWS, Zoomtext, Fusion, and other applications like Word, Google Workspace apps, and so forth. So you can go there and ask it questions, and it will give you answers. It'll give you step-by-step instructions. So we added this to FS Companion. And what it did just now is it landed me here in the edit box where I can ask a question, which I'm not going to do just yet. So I'm actually going to press plus, or I'm going to press caps lock semicolon to activate the virtual PC cursor.
Virtual PC cursor.
I didn't press escape because I didn't want it to exit the Page Explorer window here. So if I press the letter H.
Conversation with FS Companion heading level 1.
All right, so it says conversation with FS Companion. If I press H again.
Page summary heading level 2.
So here it says page summary. All right, well, if I've never been to this web page, this is a great opportunity to learn how it's laid out. So I'm going to press down arrow.
1. Heading level 3 layout.
So the first category here is layout. So it's going to tell me, I'm not going to read all this information, but let's just get an idea of what we have here, because it's going to tell me how this page is laid out, which of course is going to tell me, it's going to give me an idea of how I can navigate it best.
Bullet. The page has a top cookie consent banner that is modal and must be acknowledged or dismissed. Bullet below that is a top navigation area with language switcher. Search form and main navigation links including go to my account, get a demo, and get started free. Bullet. The main content area is marked as the main region and contains a breadcrumb navigation.
Okay, so one really important piece of information that it just told me was that cookie consent banner. Now, that pops up on a lot of websites. Sometimes you get placed right in that modal. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can go to the bottom of the page and get rid of it. And then sometimes, like right now, you don't even know it's there. I had no idea it was there. So that's a good indicator right there. It's going to tell you when you have modals, and those modals are areas that present information on part of the screen that you need to either confirm or you need to answer a question, or in this case, it's just confirming that you consent to the cookies or whatever that is for security purposes. So that is some valuable information right there. And so it's basically telling us that we have regions. That tells me that I can use the letter R. It's one of the quick navigation keys that we have, and that's for navigating by region. It tells us that our content, our page content, the main content of the page is actually in the main region, which is typically how things work. But so the article part is in the main region of the page. So because I know that there is a quick nav key Q that brings me to the main region, I know that I could use Q to get to that content very quickly. Now, it's okay if you don't know those keyboard commands, but that's some of the reason that we've created these instructions is because it will actually walk you through how this page is laid out, which gives you an idea of how to navigate.
Legal and privacy links. The page includes multiple sections with headings, lists, and links structured mainly inside the main article region.
All right, so we know we have a lot of different navigation options here. So we can use, heading navigation with the letter H, and we can navigate by link and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and press letter H to go to the next category here because there's more information here, but for the sake of time, we're going to go to the next category.
Content summary heading level 3.
All right, so the second thing here is content summary. This is going to summarize what we're going to find on this page. So I'll press down arrow. Let's see what we have here.
Bullet. This page provides detailed instructions and information on how to create, manage, and use segments previously called lists in HubSpot, including types of segments, how to create and clone them, and how to use them in HubSpot tools.
All right, so it just told me what a segment was. It used to be called a list. That's actually really good. I didn't actually know that until yesterday when I looked up this page and found this article to use for demo purposes. And I thought, oh, I haven't created anything in HubSpot in a long time. That's good to know. Because if I'd gone to HubSpot, I would have probably been looking for list and it may have been called something else. So good to know. So it's going to continue to explain the content that we have. I'm going to press H again, though.
Navigation tips heading level 3.
So this is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to give us some tips for navigating this web page. So let's down arrow and see what some of these are.
Bullet headings present include levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, marking main topics, subtopics, and detailed sections. Bullet landmark regions to jump to include the main content area, navigation menus at the top, the cookie banner region, the chat widget region, and the footer. Bullet. The main article region is the primary focus.
Okay, so now we also know that we have a chat widget, which, by the way, has been popping up some. They call it HubBot. But that tells me that there is a chat widget here. I don't really want to use that right now. That's okay. So it's going to tell me, if I keep down arrowing here.
For reading content may receive focus and could be a keyboard trap if opened.
Oh, wait. Oh, let's see what that is. Let's up arrow here.
For reading content, bullet. There is a modal cookie banner that may require dismissal before accessing the main content. Bullet. The chat widget is a dialog that may receive focus and could be a keyboard trap if opened. Bullet. Forms are present for search and feedback. Bullet. For quick navigation, use heading navigation to jump between sections like types of segments, create a segment, clone a segment, and use segments. And
all right, so it's telling us all the different headings. The thing that jumped out at me there, though, was it was telling us that there's that chat widget that if you open it, you might have a little trouble getting out of it. So again, it's just really good to know those things are there so that you can kind of listen for them and maybe not, maybe I'll be more mindful of that chat widget. So it'll tell you here, it'll actually give you keyboard commands. It'll tell you to use H for headings and R for regions and things like that.
Of key, bullet. Use insert plus F6 to list headings, insert plus F7 for links.
And so if you continue down arrowing, it'll give you all that information. And then finally, if I press H again,
important links heading level 3.
We have important links. So this is going to give me links to probably, I'm not exactly sure how it decides which links are important, except that it probably pulls them from some of the most commonly used links that you would use on a website here on this page, and links that are related directly to the content. So let's see what those are. Let's press our down arrow here.
All around bullet link cookie policy. Learn about cookie usage and settings.
So if I down arrow, it tells me the link. And then if I down arrow again, it tells me what that link is for.
All around bullet link, go to my account. Access your HubSpot account.
Okay, so now, here, let's find another one here. I want to show you something.
All around bullet link, get a demo.
Get a demo. Okay. I could, if I right arrow here to the actual link.
Space G.
I'm on the link.
Go.
There's a bullet there. That's another thing we're fixing too, by the way, so you don't have to do that. But there's a bullet there. So if I press Shift F10 or the applications key right there, it would not bring up the same menu as if I press it when I'm on the link itself. You can enter on any of these links and be taken to those pages, or you can press Shift F10 or the applications key to go to a context menu.
Open link in new window, 1 of 5.
And you have a choice. You have, well, a couple choices here. You can open that link in a new window. If I down arrow.
Save link as 2 of 5.
You can save it.
Copy link 3 of 5. C.
Copy it.
More tools submenu.
And then you have more tools, which I think if we right arrow here.
More tools menu. Share 1 of 1.
We can share that link.
Inspect.
Okay, so
leaving menus.
That is how we can use Page Explorer to look at a page. Now, we're still here in the Page Explorer window.
FFS companion.
So really what I want to know, again, I learned what segments are from the information that I found here, but if I wasn't exploring the entire page, if I was just doing this very quickly, I could ask some questions here in the chat box or in the edit box. So I'm going to press E.
Type your question here, edit.
And I'm going to press enter to
type.
Activate forms mode. And I'm going to tell it to show me
just the text about how to create a segment, period.
Okay, show me just the text about how to create a segment. And I'm going to press enter.
Enter. Show me just the text about how to create a segment. To create a segment in HubSpot, 1. In your HubSpot account, navigate to CRM segments. 2. In the upper right, click Create Segment. 3. Select the object with the records you want to segment.
Okay, now it just said something that I do not know what that means. It said to select an object that contain records that I want to create the segment for. All right, but what is an object? Well, we're still right here in our edit field.
Type your question here, edit.
So I'm just going to ask, what is an object?
An object question.
And press enter.
Enter. What is an object?
So I'm having a conversation
Error
here.
7003.
Uh-oh.
Something went wrong.
Let's try that again.
Dictate Alt plus Shift. Type your space. What is an object question?
Okay, so for some reason it encountered an error. Let's try that again.
Enter. What is an object? In the context of creating a segment in HubSpot, an object refers to a type of record you want to segment. Common objects in HubSpot include bullet, contacts, people in your database, bullet, companies, organizations, or businesses.
So it's going to give us some examples here. Now, it knew that because we were already having a conversation with it about this text or about what's on this page. All right, so now the last thing I'm going to show you, and then we'll get to your questions here, is how to navigate the information that the conversation that we're having with it here. So I'm going to turn off forms mode here and go back to my virtual PC cursor by pressing either numpad plus or caps lock semicolon.
Virtual PC.
And I can use the letter H here. So again, if we press H.
Conversation with FS Companion heading level 1.
So it just said conversation with FS Companion. Press H again.
Page summary heading level 2.
So this is going to give us our page summary. I'm just going to press H to get through these categories.
Layout heading level 3. Content summary heading level 3. Navigation tips heading level 3. Important links heading level 3. Show me just the text about how to create a segment heading level 2.
All right, so that's the first prompt that I gave it. So, and you can ask it questions, you can tell it what you want, and you don't have to use any specific language. Just talk to it like you would a person. Just if somebody was sitting there beside you and you were asking them about the web page, just, phrase your question or your prompt just like you would if you were asking them. But here we can down arrow to read what's under this heading.
To create a segment in HubSpot. 1. In your HubSpot account, navigate the CRM segments.
And it's going to give us these instructions. We can copy and paste those into a document. We can save that and have that for later reference. If I press H again.
What is an object? Heading level 2.
This is where I asked it what is an object, because I really needed to know that because it just said to click on object. Well, that didn't really tell me much. So if I down arrow here.
Error 7003.
Okay, that's our error. So we're going to press H again.
What is an object? In the context of creating a segment in HubSpot, an object refers to a type of record you want to segment. Common objects in HubSpot include bullet, contacts, people in your database.
Okay, and so if I was going to create an email list, for example, that's exactly what I would need to do. Is I would need to select the object for context or context for contacts so that I could create that email list. Okay, so that's just one example. Now you could do this again. You could do this with an article. Another, example of this is, let's say that you do a lot of traveling for work, or, you just do a lot of traveling, period, and you need to go to an airline website. And you go there and you want to know if there are any um, announcements or, anything that you need to know, or you just want to know if there's any contact information or certain piece of information on the page, you can ask it. You can ask it when you're on a page where there are a lot of form fields. You can ask it what type of information that you would need to book your travel based on the fields that it found on that page. So there are a lot of different uses for it here. Now, when I'm finished here, I can press escape.
Escape. Create seg.
And it did tell us that there was that cookie consent banner. So I'm going to try going to the bottom.
Chat widget region F.
Okay, that chat widget's at the bottom. I'm going to press Shift B and see if I can find this.
Open lift California. Manage expand section button. Manage cookies button. California can link privacy pop expand set. Was this article helpful? Create seg close button.
Oh, there's a close button.
Space. Create segments doc.
There we go. So because it told me that that was present, I was able to go and find that close button. Otherwise, I might not have actually known it was there, which may not have mattered. It may not have hindered my ability to access the site. But, sometimes it is really important to get that information, because sometimes you do have things that are covering up part of the screen and that are impacting your ability to navigate, and you don't know where to go to close them. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
JAWS. Inbox E11 reminder S. Create segment scoop JAWS. Screen sharing meeting.
There we go. And I would like to open it up for questions.
All right, folks, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Hi there, my name is Lynn. I would have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not, I'm a tech support person, so I'm not a very versed JAWS user, but so hopefully my question makes sense, but the AI labeler, would that work in a PDF form that has fields that are not labeled?
It should, because those are usually that's basically like HTML content or the same type of elements. So yes, it should.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Jen McKeon. Can you just quickly talk about the Insert J Club, because I have to get off here quickly for another meeting. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I am so sorry. I meant to mention that. So the Insert J Club, so JAWS is turning 30 this year, JAWS for Windows. So we've created the Insert J Club to bring everybody together and just engage. And we are sharing training. For example, this coming Tuesday, we have a Q&A at noon Eastern that we do a live Q&A once every 2 months. And it's just a session where you can literally come and ask whatever questions you have about JAWS, Zoomtext, or Fusion. And if you're a JAWS, Zoomtext, or Fusion user, you are welcome to join. If you teach others how to use JAWS, Zoomtext, or Fusion, or if you're just really curious about it, you can join. And we send out a couple of newsletters a month, and we will offer exclusive training to Insert J Club members each month. That's you get before everybody else does. You get about a month before everyone else does. And we are going to offer more things as well, but we've also had some special events. We'll be doing more of those in the new year. And then sometimes we just do some really fun events, things like, telling your story about how you use our software and how long you've used it, and just getting to know you. And then we're going to do some things like some fun trivia and just some things that will bring us all together to engage. And we want to know, what do you want to learn? What do you want to know? What do you want us to create training on, and so forth? So if you go to freedomscientific.com/insertjclub, that's insert INSERTJCLUB. And right there on that page, there's a form. You just enter your name and your email address. It's going to ask for your serial number. You don't actually have to enter your JAWS, Zoomtext, or Fusion serial number. The reason we asked for that is we were looking to for users of the software. So if you just enter, 5 digits in there, you'll be fine. So it's perfectly fine. And join the Insert J Club. And if you have any questions, you can always email us at training@vispero.com.
Let me see.
Thank you.
Devin Yelmick,
Yes.
you've got a hand raised.
Yes. Yeah, I get my rate. For some reason, my raise hand feature is showing up. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here, but can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So, Elizabeth, I was just wondering, was like I've been hearing like a lot of different things, like some things are available to some things, not some others. Do you know like what's happening with that? Like there's a lot of conflicting information, like some things are available to other things and not some other things, like some of the AI features.
So here in the US, there is one AI feature, Page Explorer, that is not available to home annual subscribers because it was designed with business and large volumes of information in mind. But you guys don't have that home annual program there. So
Yeah,
if you have oh, go ahead, sorry.
we do have the home manual
Oh,
program.
that's right. You do through Optelec, right?
Yep.
You said?
Yep.
Okay. So if you have a home annual license, you will not have access to Page Explorer. If you have home or professional, you will. So that's right. You did tell me that. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
and another thing, are you still gonna continue on the SMA license? Because that's what I'm on.
Yeah, so we are going to be releasing a lot of information here really soon. We're in transition on making some of these changes, but we will definitely make sure that you're not left out of that. You will still have access to your licenses, and we will tell you where to get that information here really soon. We'll make sure that everybody knows all of the new details there.
Okay, thank
hmm
you.
Sure.
Kyla Berry, you've got a hand up.
Yes, I do. So just for clarification, I am primarily a Zoomtext user, and if I have the correct version in Canada, does that mean that the AI labeler and the uh, Page Explorer is available with Zoomtext, or is it primarily accessed through JAWS or Zoom or Fusion?
So those are JAWS features specifically. So if you
Okay,
had
no, I just
Fusion,
needed
yeah,
to understand
yes,
how that's where I
uh-huh,
would activate it from.
yes.
I am in the transition. I have to relearn all my JAWS commands.
Okay.
It's been a while. I started with JAWS when I was really first learning screen reading technologies, but this is over 20 years ago, and then it wasn't. And I was on Magic for 20 years before Zoomtext partnered, like before
Oh
there was
yeah,
any kind of fusion. So
yes.
I'm behind the curve and still don't really understand what a PC cursor is.
You know
That
what?
shows
We can
how
help you with that.
what a old uh, user I am is yeah, anyway. But okay, that's good clarification that I would have to activate it through either JAWS or the Fusion aspect of
Yes.
the software. Perfect.
Yep. And if you use FS Companion, which you can use you can either go to fscompanion.ai or you can get there through your software. Um, with JAWS, you can press insert space followed by F1, and you can ask it any of those JAWS commands. You can ask it, what is the PC cursor? You can ask it all those questions.
Perfect, because yeah, like I said, I do need to put the time in. It's just 60 million other things to do
Sure,
when you're
sure.
trying to maintain a professional
Understand.
career.
Yes. All right. Well, let us know how we can help you out in any way. We're always happy to.
Are there any more questions? Oh, I see a hand. Hang on. Uh, Sarah, Eric.
Oh, good. I was having trouble finding the raise hand feature there. First of all, I just want to say this is very cool. I've been um, off in voiceover land on Mac for about the past, oh my goodness, more than a decade. So I partly just came to sort of find out what I've been missing back in the world of like JAWS and JAWS and Zoomtext, and I have to say, wow, it's come a very long way since I switched in 2010. So two questions, I think. No, maybe make that three. So one is that summarizer feature for web pages. That is really cool and really useful. I'm normally kind of AI skeptical, but I have to say that really does sound useful. A bit like the question with the labeler, would it work on PDF documents as well as web pages? Because that is something I run into a lot. I'm a semi-academic, so I'm often reading very long articles, and sometimes it's just like, oh, damn it, where is that freaking quote, right?
Right.
Or
That's a good
that one
question.
sentence that I want to reference, and I don't necessarily want to have to read through like 100 pages to find it.
So if you're accessing the PDF on the web, it should. I need to try it though. But if you're accessing it from Adobe, I don't think at this time it will, but that may be, I can't speak to this specifically, but that could be something in the future. I'll definitely take that back to our developers. So yeah, that's a great question.
Okay, yeah, you can open most PDFs in a web browser, so I would
Right.
think that could
Yeah.
work. Question number two, shit, I've forgotten what it was. Question, I hope it'll come back to me because it was kind of important. Oh, I remember what it was now. You were mentioning that Fusion, which did not exist the last time I used JAWS, so that is very neat because even in VoiceOver, you can't use voice and magnify. Well, you can, but they're kind of separate. So that's really cool that it kind of allows you to work both. Is it meant to be just a transition feature, for example, for when you're switching from JAWS to from Zoomtext to JAWS, or well, yeah, probably more like from Zoomtext to JAWS, or basically can you use it fully and like to sort of augment JAWS with magnification, but mostly rely on JAWS? Does that make sense?
It does, and that's a great question. So all of the above. You can use it if
Wow.
like Rachel Buchanan, who's also does a lot of the training with me. She sometimes uses Fusion for certain things. If she needs to look at something, she'll, use the magnification part, blow it up, and then, or if you just want to use both at the same time. It's also something that for a company, for example, a lot of companies like to purchase Fusion because it gives them one license, one installer
Oh
for
yeah,
one
rather than having to,
authorization there.
yeah, that makes
Right.
a great deal of
hmm
sense. Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah.
my last question was, you kind of answered it, but I also kind of wanted to double check. I guess because we've seen sort of what's happened with particularly Microsoft going to the whole like totally cloud-based service where you no longer actually are able to run any of its apps natively on your machine anymore, and it's all subscription based, and you pay through the nose every month, and it's become really enshittified. And so I'm just really, I was sort of, kind of an alarm bell went off in my head when you're talking about the Vespero account, and I'm really praying that this is not sort of somebody's bright idea for a prelude to sort of switching JAWS and all those others to being no longer run natively, but entirely cloud and subscription based, because that would be kind of, I like the fact that it allows you to sync between devices, but taking it to that level would also be kind of tragic and would frankly be a deterrent or a downgrade in thinking about switching back.
No, that is not something that we're doing. So once you sign into your account, you can use it online or offline or whatever. You're not going to have to use it. It's not a cloud-based screen reader or anything like
Okay,
that.
yeah, I would think that would actually be kind of hard to do technically, but as I said, we've seen what happened with Microsoft and how that's gone downhill, or so I've heard from lots of people who've used it. Okay, thank you very much. Lastly, and sorry for taking up so much time with my various questions, but there's some specific things I'd love to sort of find out around because one of the reasons I switched to Mac in the first place was to be able to use GarageBand with VoiceOver, because at the time it was the only fully screen reader accessible digital audio workspace if you had no ability to see the contents of, if you couldn't sort of rely on seeing the contents of the screen at all. You could but I'd love to find out if that is sort of still the case, or if there's any. So would I like the training email address that you mentioned? Is that where I would like write about that? Because I'd love to find out more about that.
Yeah, send an email to training@vispero.com. I can tell you Audacity is free. It works great. I use it all the time for podcasts. There's also one called Reaper. I believe with Reaper, it works best if you have scripts, but you can easily get those. And there are some other options. So send us an email to training@vispero.com, and I'll make sure you get all the information that you need.
I thank you. Yeah, I will do that. Because, yeah, I'd be interested to find out more about that. Okay, thanks.
Absolutely.
Are there any more questions?
Oh, the audio now unmuted.
Yep, go ahead, Michael.
Thank you. So I've been listening as best I can to understand all these changes happening. So I guess, are all these changes just going to be with home, or is it with home and professional?
Which changes are you referring to? Make sure I understand so I can answer your question.
Just the whole thing with the changes you've made with JAWS in 2026.
Okay. So the accounts, when you guys are prompted for that, when that comes to you guys, that'll be no matter what license that you have, you'll have to create the account. But again, once you sign in, everything works as normal. It works exactly as it has before. The Page Explorer feature is the only one that's not available for home annual subscribers. It is available for home and for professional.
Oh,
but that's it. Yeah.
So, yeah, because I just started working for an organization, and I'm just learning JAWS Professional a little bit more, because I've been so used to JAWS Home, and I find it different. Like, I'm having a hard job just figuring out the settings for the internet. And that's one of my most difficult things I'm trying to figure out.
Well, and that may be specific settings for your workplace situation that are not JAWS specific, but may be specific to how your network is set up. I'm not really sure. But yeah, everything else is available no matter what license you have.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Any more questions?
I have a question for Elizabeth really quickly.
Sure.
Can we change the sounds of the Picture Smart and the click, click, click of Page Explorer? Click, click, click.
Somebody else asked us that too. I think that's just the standard progress. I'll bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devin, go ahead.
This is a little bit a different topic though. So you were on the podcast and you mentioned about like you're in charge of like the training now. So you said like there's training on all of these different new features.
Yeah, so we did a podcast on the new count feature. We did a webinar on that. And then yesterday, we had a webinar on all of the features that I covered today. And then Rachel demonstrated the Fusion toolbar. And that one is going to be up soon. All of those will be on our webinars on demand page at freedomscientific.com/webinars.
Okay.
Just had a message in chat from Linda saying, I hope you'll find a way to get Zoomtext capable of reading PDG. I think you mean PDF. Says that this is a barrier, but Zoomtext can read PDF. So, Linda, do you want to unmute and clarify?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have questions about that, you can always send them to training@vispero.com. Like to know the specific situation. That way we can help you out and tell you what you need to do to read those.
Question came up about the podcast. What is it and where can we find it?
Oh, absolutely. So it's the Freedom Scientific Training Podcast. So you can do a couple of things. You can go to freedomscientific.com/podcast, and there you'll find all the information. You can even listen to episodes. If you go to the Libsyn link, you can listen to episodes there, or wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's on your smartphone, your tablet, iOS or Android, or on your smart speaker, you can tell it to play the Freedom Scientific Training Podcast. It'll play the latest episode. So you can subscribe on your phone, on your tablet, or you can play it on your smart speaker.
Kathy, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I do. I just was wondering about if I forget a keyboard command, like say I'm in the Page Explorer or something, and I don't remember the keyboard commands to navigate in it. How would I, or with anything, like even Picture Smart or any of those other things, how would I find out what the commands are? If I don't remember them.
So I recommend using FS Companion. So if you press Insert or Caps Lock Space, followed by F1, it'll bring up FS Companion, and it places you in the edit field where you can just ask it, how do I use Picture Smart? Or what is the command for Page Explorer? Or what is Page Explorer? Things like that. And it will tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Thank you very much.
Sure. Yeah.
Michael, go ahead.
Another question I just wondering, because I have a hard job with PDFs and not really knowing how to use those with speech systems as great as I should. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how do I use PDFs with our JAWS users with JAWS?
So that is, I'm going to recommend a webinar for you if you would like to check this out. If you go to freedomscientific.com/webinars, we recently did a webinar on PDFs, and you'll find it by pressing the letter H.
Okay.
And it's all on how to access them with JAWS, how to set up Adobe Reader, how to get the most out of the experience when you're reading them. So I highly recommend, and there's a transcript there for that as well. So if you'd rather read the transcript. And there's also a reference document that just outlines all the tasks that we covered. So you have several different options there. You can listen to it or you can read about it.
So it's
freedomscientific.com/webinars.
/webinars. Okay.
Yep.
Because then I can have work send me things in PDF instead of Word all the time if they want.
Right. And another point to that is that having PDFs created in a way that's accessible. So we have some documentation on that. So if your employer does need some information on how to create an accessible PDF, we can definitely send that along to you.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty. Sorry, just trying to mail off a link here. Anybody else? Any questions?
Yeah, is there going to be a one of these for Zoomtext itself? This was supposed to be for both, and it seems to be very JAWS centric.
Yeah, we can do one for Zoomtext. We didn't really have many changes to Zoomtext 2026. Actually, what we had were bug fixes and things. So there weren't the main visual topic there was the Fusion toolbar. But yes, to answer your question, we are actually going to do a dedicated Zoomtext and a dedicated Fusion webinar, 2 webinars on those very, very soon, so we can keep you updated. So I apologize for that. If you were hoping for some more Zoomtext content, we can definitely do that for you.
And how
No
come?
problem. I'm kind of playing catch up because I've been away from
Oh.
Zoomtext for a number of years. But as another caller mentioned, Microsoft stuff has become less and less usable, and their accessibility stuff is becoming jankier by the day. So I've just asked our IT group to order me a copy of Zoomtext, and I'm kind of hoping to do some catch up on it.
Okay, well, we'll definitely make that happen for you.
Awesome, thank you. Also,
Yes.
how's the performance in ZoomText? Because the reason I went away from it in the first place was around 2018, 2019, somewhere around there, the performance started getting so slow that it wasn't even usable anymore. And that was why I went back to the built-in stuff.
Right. You know what? We did a complete overhaul of that last year, and it's way more responsive now and faster than it used to be. We've improved that a lot.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes.
Anyone else? All right. I think we've hit the end of the road. So
All right. Well,
thanks
thank
everyone
you.
for coming, and thank you, Elizabeth, for all of the information you shared today. That's exciting to see some of the new stuff in action.
Yeah, thank you. It was great to have the opportunity to show it. And happy to come back and do any Zoomtext or Fusion specific things if you guys would like that.
Yeah, we'll see what we can set up for that.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for attending, and hope to hear from you soon.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, thank you all.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. Visit us online at www.canastech.com or email us at sales@canastech.com. And if you're in the Vancouver area, you can visit our assistive technology showroom at number 106, 828 West 8th Avenue in Vancouver.